All right, yay, another striker build. Let's go. I mean, I wouldn't say this is actually a build video. It's more like a comparison video. People like when I do comparisons, so that's what I'm doing. But this is actually a bit different. Instead of comparing any weapons or like gears, I'm actually comparing striker with striker. Because I think there is a better way to play striker, or should I say an upgrade that I want to show you and compare as well with what usually people run around nowadays, right? So let me just show you first. All right, so we're here at the shooting range. I have everything set up. I do know the damage numbers, I can tell you, but I know you're not going to believe me, but that's why I'm here to show you in the shooting range. So first, let's start with the first build that pretty much everybody uses. I mean, this is the variant of the striker that a lot of people love using it. I also love using it. This is great builds, great damage. So obviously we have the St. Alamo's engine assault rifle here. I wanted to use the Eagle better, but we'll just use it because, you know, it's fan favorite. So yeah, we have that. Obviously damage to target of cover. Keep that reload speed in mind because it will be important later on in the video. And also we have 7 extra weapon damage expertise. It doesn't really matter because I'm going to be using the same weapon throughout the video. So yeah, it doesn't really matter. But I know there are people who has like plus 20 extra like weapon expertise. So I don't have that much resources. Anyway, so that now obviously we have a Coyote mask here. We got the Grupo chest piece here. So that's my stats with Obliterate Talent, obviously. We have the holster here, the striker, the knee pads, and there we go, the gloves. And obviously, finally, we have the backpack here of striker as well. If I show you my stats, like overall stats here, you can see very good crit chance here, very good crit damage. With Coyote, it will actually going to go like 200% crit damage, especially when you're fighting enemies up close, because that gives you 25% extra crit damage. So pretty much overall a very, very good build. We all know that. So let's just see how much damage we actually do. By the way, this is my damage. Your damage could be different, like could be higher, could be lower. Depends on how much like weapon expertise you have and what's your stats. So keep that in mind. So let's see how much damage you do. We're actually going to ignore the health damage there. It's obviously more than 1 million there. But we're going to ignore that because assault rifle gives you, you know, health damage boost. But we're going to see how much damage you do on the armor because most of the enemies we fight has armor on them, right? So let's see the highest peak there. So that's 865, 198. That's the number we just saw there as the highest damage, right? Yeah, 865, 198. So as you can see on the chat as well, 865, 198. Now, how are we going to get an overall DPS here? So what we're going to do basically is multiply that damage by 70, which is the St. Elmo's Engine's mag. I know that might sound a bit weird and not really realistic because you're not going to be critting on every single bullet. I know that. But to make it easy for the testing, we're going to do that. And I will explain it later on in the video. Don't worry about it. But for now, let's just do that. So if I do that, how much damage that actually is? Well, that's actually 563,860. That's yeah, quite a lot of numbers. Basically, it's 60563,860. So that's the number that you're gonna get on the full mag of your St. Elmo with that. But obviously, that's not realistic. We're not gonna crit on every bullet. I know that. But for now, we'll just keep that number in mind. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to change the build a little bit. So there is another variant that a lot of people like using. That is the Coyote. I need to, not Coyote, sorry, Fox's Spray. I need to change this to the Fox's Spray. I need to test this out because I know there are people will say, what about the Fox's Spray? Well, we'll see that now. So I just changed that to Fox's Spray and see how much damage we can actually do now. So let's just build up the stacks really quickly. The reason why I'm not really cutting or anything because I want to show the full kind of like footage here because, you know, people do doubt a lot. So let's see. We have the damage here and let's see how much damage we're actually doing. So it is a little bit lower there, 852,734. So that's the highest peak we just saw, 852,734. So that's the number there. Now, again, we're going to multiply that by obviously 70 round mag. And so the overall damage is 59,691,380. So 59691,380. So that's the damage number we are getting from a full mag if every bullet crits. So that's my build's damage. Okay. Obviously, it's a bit lower than the Coyote and the Grupo variant there. Now, let me show you the build that I want you guys to use. I mean, the variant. And also, I believe that it's an upgrade than the previous striker builds that we are using. So we're going to change the knee pads to the striker knee pads back. And then we're going to change the gloves. And we're going to use the new season gloves with this season, which is the Eagle's Grasp. And that gives us extra 15% of mag size. And then also 15% weapon handling, which is good because striker already gives us, 15% weapon handling. With the gloves, we get 30%. With your watch, you get 10 more percent, so that's 40. And if you're using gunner, which I'm pretty sure most of you guys are, you get 10% more weapon handling for staying still. So that's 50% on weapon handling on a striker build, which is pretty good, to be honest, right? Now, also, if I show you the weapon now, remember the reload speed I showed you, 1.7? Now it's 1.5 seconds. Now, I'm not really sure if it's counting the gunner, perk there as well or not, but it's 1.5 second, which is 0.2 second better than before. So you will reload quicker. So that means you'll be doing more damage and spending less time on reloading. And it's also even better because we have extra mags on our weapon now. So instead of 70, we have 80 round mag. So that means more total damage, which I'm going to show you in a moment. Now, if you guess that our crits will be higher, you're actually wrong. It won't be a higher crits. That's why I'm sure that people who tried and didn't bother using it, they probably saw the crit numbers and saw it's low. So they just, thought that it's not good, which is obviously you can see here. It is actually low here. As you see, I'm critting for 794,922. That's the highest peak we're doing on the body when there is armor, right? So 794,922. That's the number we just saw here, right? Now, the thing is, we have to multiply this number by 80 instead of 70. And that's what we're going to do. And if we do that, the number we're going to get is 63,593,760. So 63,593,760. That's the number we're going to get that. So obviously, this is way higher damage than the other two variants that I showed you. But then again, you could clearly say that that doesn't make any sense because this test doesn't make any sense because we're not going to be critting in every single bullet. So, overall, this is garbage. Before you type that in the comment section, let me tell you something. Even though the bullets will not crit in every single shot, it's okay. But you have to see that your rounds, that your bullet is more. That means you have to add that additional 10 bullet worth of damage in your build. So even if the damage here is a bit lower than the previous builds, that extra 10 bullet will make up that damage and increase it even further. So you have to keep that in mind as well, right? Means more bullet, means more damage. Your overall total damage is increased. Now, does that makes a huge difference when you're playing heroic content? Probably not, because you're going to be shredding everything before, you reach that threshold. But in higher tier content, something like a legendary mission, bosses, elite enemies that are legendary elite enemies, or like raid bosses or something like that, that time this will be really important because you have more rounds to deal that sustained damage on them. And also you're reloading a bit quicker. Your weapon is more stable. You can also use Eagle Better. You can proc the tenacity really well because Eagle Better will hold 70 round as well. If you're a Chameleon fan, you can use Chameleon as well because Chameleon will also get more rounds. And when the Adaptive Instinct gets active on Chameleon, it's going to shred everything. So that also, if you want burst damage, you can use Ouroboros because Ouroboros is actually going to reload in 1.2 seconds now. And also you have that burst damage potential from Ouroboros with extra mag from Ouroboros. So that's also viable. Backfire Striker can be used as well. The one I made a long time ago. That's also really good as well. So every weapon basically got an upgrade with using these gloves. And this glove is very universal gloves. You can use it in any weapon, with any weapon, like SMG, LMG, assault rifle, any weapon. It's not like something like a contractor that you're wasting that LMG damage there, and also something like the Fox's Preya where you're wasting that rifle damage. Now, if you say, dude, I like my Coyote, but it's okay. I can give you a variant where you can actually use your Coyote if you're that much of a fan. Well, what you're going to do is you're going to use the Coyote, obviously, and then you're going to drop the group of chest piece and use Striker chest piece. This way, you get the buff from Coyote. You also get the gloves buff, like the extra mag and reload speed. Weapon handling. And now you also have Striker chest piece, which is obviously more damage. But you need to get more stacks, which you can do now because now you have a weapon that has 80 round mag if you're using the St. Elmo's engine. So building up the stacks for your chest piece on Striker is actually a bit easier now, right? Because you have more rounds to spare to shoot to build up the stacks, right? So you could do that. So you could definitely play it like this, and this will be really, really, really high total damage. So I would say don't listen to me. See for yourself. Try it out because this gloves is free, right? Basically, in this season, everyone gets to use it. So put it on your build and give it a spin. See for yourself. Don't believe me. Again, at the end of the day, it's just a video game and you're the one who's playing it. So you decide which one you feel comfortable with it. Don't listen to me. If you think that whatever build you're using is better for you, use that. But if you want to try this out, you can definitely do that. I'm sure that you're going to like it. So give it a try. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and like the video if you like the comparison like this. Also, let me know if you want me to do some different comparisons as well. I was actually thinking about doing some weapon damage testing, like weapon talent, like damage talent testing for high-end weapons and stuff. Also like chest piece talent. So if this video did well, I will do that as well. And leave a like on the video if you liked it, and subscribe to the channel because that really helps me grow. And I will see you guys in the next one. Till then, peace.